daily basis, where I get my annual wages and salary increases from, has to do with Community Reinvestment Act, linkage programs and things of that nature. And I'm not aware of anything where a local community would be able to tax the newcomers to town to take care of a facilities need over here.
Well, actually, it was an in-kind program where the developers actually do them as side.
We do it through sidewalk maintenance and things of that nature, where the planning commission, through their efforts, have enticed or encouraged local developers, people who are coming to town to develop, to make a contribution to a sidewalk fund or something like that, in order to achieve what they're looking to do in the way of some sort of concessions and things like that. Well,
Also, the developer of McIntyre Estates Crossing, when he was first developing that land and the school on the Swan Pond site was being looked at, in conjunction with the school building committee at that time, he went back and looked at his plans for that development as far as the sizing of the water pipes coming off of Route 62, the Hannah Graves cul-de-sac. He actually went back and redrew those plans to give access to the school property from that side, so that the Bigham Road development would not have to be used for primary access. There were other things as far as corridors of land and easements that he did do for the town, so that that site could be developed. Some of it very critical, such as the sizing of the water piping, the sidewalks on both sides, because children would be potentially walking through there to access that school. So, that was one thing that happened. Sidewalks with the Community Planning Commission and that, but that was on a particular incident basis. So there's some, but not much.
Mrs. Jenkins.
On the Bachelor School reuse and relocation of the town hall, I just want to make sure that one group does not get left out of the relocation of town hall, and the food pantry's overflow is currently stored on the stage at the town hall, and then they schlep it over and they carry it up 2 flights of stairs to where I can't say his last name, Hardery has generously donated that space for them to use. I would hope you could put it on your little ticking list that when the batch is reused, that there is a space provided for the food pantry so that they don't have to move the food twice. The people that do this program do an amazing job with food, and this is a town. I don't think this is a private enterprise. They're not making money.
If a proposal moves forward as being presented, again, space is going to become available in the Murphy Center for all sorts of community uses. And
I just want to make sure that the food pantry is on the list, because this is a service provided. And I know that right now they have to take everything off the stage by August, and it's a big feat. And I just want to make sure they're on somebody's list to be remembered, so that it's taken care of. Thank you.
Pawlowski?
I just wanted a clarification on these 2 charts on the debt exclusion tax rate impact. That top chart includes any of the new projects that are part of F.U.M.P, but it also includes the high school, the library, things that we've been paying on for a number of years.
That's correct.
So, is it, we're already into fiscal year 2000, we've already probably had a couple tax payments that have picked up some of this rate. So when we look at the total amount, it's really not $597 more in 2006, because we've already, thinking $597 more from today's tax bill, we've already incorporated a certain amount of that increase.
That's the second chart.
Right. If you look at the
So
second chart,
it is more appropriate than we really look at the bottom chart
if you look at the bottom
for
chart,
the new things, and it's not that much less, but a little bit, because we've already been paying for some of these things for a number of years.
that's correct.
Okay. Because I think maybe when you look at the top chart and figure, another $600 from today's bill, but it's not that, because part of that 600, we've already absorbed this past year and prior years.
Mr. Drive.
Steve, could I address this to Brad? Brad put a figure of something like 60 million for these projects. Is that still in the ballpark?
No.
No, it's more.
No. The F.U.M.P project, forget the ones that have already been approved. The F.U.M.P projects are slightly under 45 million, 44,618,000, which includes state reimbursement.
Okay. You used to always say, for every $10 million on a 5% 20-year municipal bond, which we know now it's going to be probably 6% or 7%. But we used to say on 5% municipal bond for 20 years, you can figure something like $1 increase on the tax rate, the residential tax rate, or tax rate in town, for every 10 million. So with 45 million, the taxpayers in town ought to be looking at least $4.50 increase. Is that?
No, Dick. I'm glad you went my first class. I wish you'd gone to my second one. No. You would be correct if we took that 45 million. We're not borrowing 45 million. That's the interest. If we did it all in one shot, yes, but we're not. So you have to come back to the chart, which spreads it and it incorporates reimbursement from SBAB, et cetera, et cetera. So because they're in different years, and if you go to the front page, partly that Joanne's question, if you looked at that front page, you will see that the present high school debt exclusion is paid off in the year 2008, because that's where the payment is. And you can look up, the library is 2006, et cetera. So, to answer your question, Dick, that's why we went to the second page, to give you the tax rate impact, either as a total, which is the top chart, or the bottom, which is only the new debt exclusion.
Well, does it actually come up in dollars? I mean, I see the list of figures.
If you want to know,
Subtracting from the other, or adding to the other. What is it connected with dollars?
in terms of total cost,
So,
front page, right here, first page,
no, not in total, tax rate impact.
Bottom
Bottom
chart,
chart.
third column.
$200,000 house, $300,000 house, $350. Now,
Like, for instance, if
all right, let me give you an aid. Our tax rate right now, and it's going to change in December, first week of December when the Board of Selectmen and assessors meet, is $16.14. Take out the 98 cents, because if you look on that second page, year 2000, you see tax rate impact of 98 cents. That's this current year. Okay, so just imagine that your house tax is $15.16, basic property tax. Then you can use that if you wish. It's not correct, but it's relative. Then you can get down through that chart and add each year $15.16 to that and get your
Right.
tax rate
plus
for.
$1.19 the next year?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Plus $1.49 the next year?
Not additionally,
Not
additional.
addition, it's not cumulative.
Do it,
That's what it is. Take
Do it.
each year
do
individually.
it each individual year. January 1, write $15.60.
What's the difference between the year before?
I wouldn't be here tonight if what you were saying was true. I'd have moved out of town.
Okay, it's the difference. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And if that were the effect, we certainly wouldn't have had this meeting before the election, because I wouldn't be here tonight either. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Gina Osborne. This may be a minor fee in the cost of things, but I'm just trying to understand where the operating fees come from for all these new facilities. Because you've got, still got the Mercy school that we're somehow operating, right, as a town facility. And we're operating a lot more square footage in police and fire and all these other places. So where does that operating cost come in terms of?
That would be incorporated in the general operating expenses of the budget that we appropriate at town meeting annually. So what we're talking about tonight in relation to F.U.M.P is the cost impact of debt exclusion vote at town meeting and on the ballot. But yes, you're correct in your assumption that it will have an impact on the regular operating budget as far as any new facilities we have coming online to operate, heat, light, electricity. School department, there'll be some additional salaries for school teachers to fill those classrooms to teach the children.
How much of an impact would that have though on our budget somewhere? That money's got to come from somewhere. Those operating budgets have to come from somewhere.
Yeah, those costs, what we can raise and appropriate to maintain our buildings in order to heat, light, so on and so forth, salaries, employee benefits, all the rest, are all governed by what we can raise and appropriate under the constraints of Proposition 2.5.
Just a quick answer. The $15.16 that I mentioned to Mr. Girardi is our operating budget.
Right, so do we have an expectation of how much that would go up? I guess it sounds like it has to go up.
Specifically, I don't think there's been a run out of it, no. And hopefully, partially there's a wash. There's a wash, hopefully, in building maintenance, because now you have brand new buildings, et cetera, et cetera. On the other hand, in Swan Pond School, you might have an increase in custodial needs because of more square footage, but hopefully, the rest of the, there would be one principal, as you have one, I shouldn't be talking for the superintendent, you'd have one principal as you do at a bat school, you would have one music teacher, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Classrooms, assuming they're the same staffing level, will stay the same, but as you have an influx of 20, 22 students, you would add the teacher, but it would be in relation, direct relationship to school population. And that would be true whether, as long as we had space.
No, and currently we're paying for the operation of the bachelor school. Currently, we're paying for the operation of Murphy Center. We're talking about picking up two new facilities, which is the new school and the police department. The Public Works Department, in relation to the cost of operations there, are not substantial, where it's mostly garage space. You're going to have some heating needs, but we don't have an awful lot of overhead costs in relation to the Department of Public Works facility as proposed. So you're talking about picking up two new physical plants that would have to have operational costs associated with it. You're right. And again, that's going to come in, as Mr. Jones pointed out, under your regular operational budget as appropriated at town meeting. That comes in.
They're minor costs.
No, I'm not saying the minor costs. What I'm saying is generally what happens when we have increased costs such as that, it gets sort through new growth revenues, state aid, things like that. That's where our revenue sources are. Automobile excise tax, all those revenues cover those sorts of things.
I think we should remind people that the Proposition 2.5 restricts any increases in that part of the budget to 2.5% per year.
Well, I know, but
Can't go up any more than that.
So I want to make sure that when, in the middle of winter, we don't have to turn the heat off for our police department because we can't budget it, right? I mean, I'm just asking, is it a big impact or a small impact? But I guess they have to go back to the
It's an
town.
impact that we believe can be absorbed through the general operating expenses of the town and the revenues that are being generated.
Yes, my name's Dan Mills. Besides costs, what are some reasons why town meeting may not pass this? What are some, where do you guys have your problem?
I think if you just look at the impact, issues such as Mr. Hannon has raised, the feeling that some people may feel as though the needs that we're identifying as actual needs may be more wants desires and actual needs.